Hi, welcome everybody. We are live yet again. My name is Sonia Kirschner. I'm also known as the Mindset Medium. I'm the founder of A-Power Free Coaching, Training and Mind Freedom. I'm a life and success strategist who has been facilitating breakthroughs for ambitious women and men for 10 years now. And today we're getting together yet again to talk about mindset reset, and welcome to another Mindset Reset Time snapshot sessions. These sessions are really designed to help you to take stock of how you are focusing in this particular moment in time, how you are utilizing your mindset. Are you utilizing it in your favor, to your advantage, or are you utilizing it against you? These Mindset Reset and snapshot sessions are really brief sessions to what we do in the Mindset Reset Time workshops, group coaching workshops that I conduct every Tuesday and Friday, every Tuesday between 2 and 4 p.m. and every Friday between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. where we are getting together to empower ourselves in the best and strongest possible way every single time. And different topics come up. As people come on, they ask different questions. And in these Mindset Reset Time snapshot sessions, I'm giving you information which I believe is tremendously important and could serve for anybody who hasn't come along to one of these sessions. If you want to come along to one of those Mindset Reset Times workshops, group coaching sessions, then feel free to come along. The link to the description you can find in the link to the workshop you can find in the description, themindsetmedium.com, where you can get yourself a free day pass. Just come along. On Tuesday, the day before yesterday, somebody brought up the question, incredibly important. I really want to come on here and share it with you, share what we have discovered, so to speak, about what the person asked. But essentially, it was all about, why am I not getting the results? Why am I not getting the results, even though I'm putting in so much effort, even though I'm doing the right things, even though I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone, so to speak, every single day, even though it starts to feel like a drag. I'm just pushing against the hill and I'm doing so much, yet I'm not getting the results in the areas of my life that I want most. It's in my business, in my personal life, to do with my relationships, with my finances, with my health, my energy, whatever it is. So it's a really important topic. What is the ultimate force that drives our results? What is the ultimate force that drives our results? It's clearly not the amount of action we take, because we all know that there's no amount of action that always gives us the results we are looking for, right? So what is it? What is it? What is the ultimate? What is the true driving force that is behind everything that drives our results? So if you aren't getting the results that you want, it's only because of one thing, really. It's because your identity and what you believe about yourself. Your identity and what you believe about yourself are in the way. If you are not getting the results that you want and you seem to be doing the right things, you think that you're doing, you're following your action plan, you are following your goals, you are pursuing your plans, what you worked yourself and committed yourself to, and it's not working out. The only reason why it's not working out for you is because your identity and what you believe about yourself to be true is in the way. Let me give you an example, a metaphoric example. Let's say your identity is your thermostat, and the thermostat, obviously measuring the temperature in the room, is set to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. And you've got your thermostat set to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Your relationships or intimate relationships, you are kind of happy and expect your relationships to work on 68 degrees Fahrenheit, which means not too hot, not too cold, just about right for you. Or your finances, you are not super rich, you are not poor, you're kind of somewhere in the middle. It's not too painful, it's not too exciting, but again, you expect to be earning the same amount of money day in and day out, month in and month out. Or your body weight. Again, it may be something you are not entirely thrilled with, but you are not suffering in that you don't think you are tremendously overweight. So again, you expect to be that weight. It's set to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. That's your identity. That's who you believe you are, and how things should be. You are kind of comfortable in this zone. So also kind of the comfort zone. Now imagine that temperature starts dropping to 65 degrees, 63 degrees, 62 degrees, and somewhere around the 61 degrees, 60 degree, 59 degrees mark, your brain goes, hey, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? This is not who you are. You need to step up your game. You need to get back up to 68. So if you started on piling on the pounds, your brain is telling you, hey, you know what you're doing. Stop doing it to get back to who you are. If you start earning less money, hey, what's going on? Going back up. This is who you are. If your intimacy suffers, hey, what's happening? Go back to where you are and feel comfortable again. Because around the 59, 60 degrees mark, you start feeling uncomfortable yourself because you know that that's not who you are. Something is missing. Something doesn't feel quite right. And you want to go back to feeling comfortable again, right? But has it ever happened to you that you start being really successful and you work in the way you worked out and started losing weight, in the way your relationship improved? But let's say, focusing on work and finances, you started earning more and more money. And all of a sudden the temperature goes up to 70 degrees, 72 degrees, 73 degrees. And again, your brain goes, kind of your computer system in your head goes, hey, this is not who you are. This is not your program. This is not who you are. You are comfortable down there at 68 degrees. You shouldn't be earning that much money. So let's wind back a little bit. And you find yourself naturally, unconsciously, pulling back your energy, losing your drive, starting to hang out more on social media, starting to watch more TV. Or when it comes to your weight, starting to eat the wrong kind of foods, or going to bed later and later when it comes to energy. So you start doing things that bring you down to who you are, who you believe, what you believe to be true for yourself, so that you start feeling comfortable again, right? And not only that, you can also start sabotaging your own success. So what does it mean, sabotaging your own success? It means that you may decide not to show up for core meetings. You may decide to treat people in a way which is not consistent with who you are, right? So harshly, may lose out of opportunities as a result. So because you need to bring yourself, your brain needs to bring you down, so to speak, to the level where you are comfortable at, your comfort zone. I mean, if you're honest with yourself, has this ever happened to you? Has this ever happened to you that all of a sudden something happened and you were all the way down and it didn't feel right, so you just, you did whatever it took to bring you back up? Or you became more and more successful and it kind of didn't feel right. It didn't feel like it's you, and you started losing your drive. You started putting your foot off the gas pedal. You started sabotaging. It has happened to all of us. And it is because of our identity, who we believe about ourselves to be true, and what we believe about ourselves to be true. So if you want to change any area of your life, whether it's relationships, finances, whether it's the economy, your energy, your body, your confidence, you have to change your story. We spoke in another session about how do we create breakthroughs. And I did say to you guys that most people start with the strategy, then we go over with the story. So why do we do things? And then with the state, right? 3 components to changing your strategy, to changing your life or having a breakthrough. Strategy, story, state, although it should be really state, story, strategy, but story really being the core, the story, the why, what makes us do what we do, who do we believe about ourselves to be true. So if you haven't seen that video about breakthroughs, make sure to watch it. But our story begins with who we believe we are, what we believe about ourselves to be true, what we believe about other people to be true, what we believe about the world to be true, and what kind of things we expect to receive, right? That's our story. So let me ask you an important question and answer honestly. Answer honestly. Just complete the sentence for me. Who are you? I am. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? No filter, no right or wrong answers, no judgment. I am. And again, let me ask you again. I am. And the final time, answer honestly. I am. What kind of answers have you received? What kind of answers have you downloaded from your unconscious mind? Who are you? Now, if you're somebody who is smoking, for instance, and you said something along the lines of, well, I am a smoker. That's your identity, right? Every time I work with somebody and we start talking about their habits which are not serving them, the moment I hear them saying I am a smoker, I know that this is what they identify themselves with. This is what is governing their habits, so to speak. This is what they are. This is these are the patterns. That's the behavior they're going to display, because that's the belief they have about themselves. And you can change it. And I'm going to tell you in a moment how. But the moment you identify yourself by saying I am, you're in trouble, so to speak. You have to catch that monster before you get to the stage of I am. We all behave in certain ways, and sometimes we behave in ways we're not proud of, right? We get frustrated, we get worried, we get stressed, and when we are frustrated, worried, stressed, angry, we say things we wouldn't normally say under normal circumstances about who we believe what is true for us, right? But we all get to that stage. That's our behavior, right? That's not who we are. And that's okay in that regard. I mean, the behavior perhaps is not okay, but we all behave sometimes that way. And that's part of being human. But the moment we start believing that that is who we are, the moment we do it multiple times and somebody points it out to us, and the moment we start thinking about it and reinforcing it, and the moment we start identifying with that behavior, and the moment we start saying, well, I'm always angry, or I am a smoker, or I am impatient, and I am a procrastinator, whatever it is. I mean, we all do these things, but not everybody associates with these things, right? So that's the difference. Be careful what you attach the words to. And be also careful, really stand guard at the door of your mind, what other people are telling you. If somebody tells you, well, you're always frustrated. No, it's not true. It's not true. You do things that make you frustrated, but you can take your power back, right? Don't allow that wiring, that conditioning to happen, because it's much more difficult to recondition yourself than not allowing it to happen in the first place. Okay, so who are you? Just a brief exercise, brief example of what your identity is and what you believe about yourself to be true. And also be careful about attaching this limiting identity not only to yourself, because you know how disempowering it can be for you, but also be careful about attaching the limiting identity to other people, right? Other people, because it's going to impact your relationships. If you have, again, an identity, the identity being the belief about yourself, about other people, right? It's an ingrained belief about what is true for you and you form a belief, but constantly repeating it, the thought, all over and over again. So belief is really a thought that you keep thinking, and that's when you keep thinking a thought about yourself or other people, it becomes true to you, for you. And the same thing in relation to other people, right? It can impact your relationships. Let me give you an example. Let's say you and I, we're friends and we go to an event together when it's possible again. And it's an event, let's say personal development event. We are both in the audience and there's many beautiful people there, but we spot one particularly warm person who has a smile on her face all the time, seems to be helping and encouraging people all the time, and really get a feeling, a good sense about her. And we immediately start associating with her somebody really nice, a warm person, friend-like, very friendly, right? So we start to believe that she's a really good person. Our belief of her identity is really good. And imagine somebody comes around and says, well, Helen, let's call her Helen. Well, she did this to me and it was quite bitchy. What's going to happen? What's your first response going to be? No, not that Helen. She's really nice. She's really nice. It's not that Helen, right? And we get caught up doing something else, caught up on the course, and then we forget, right? We just think it was a glitch. She just had a bad, response. She had a bad day. We go on and develop a friendship with Helen, and we experience her being or doing something which is bitchy. Then we just think that's not really her. She just has a bad day, right? Because we know, or we think we know, we believe for it to be true, we've developed an identity and expectation of who Helen really is. Flip the coin on the other side. Let's say Helen is not a nice person. She's manipulative. She's always out for taking advantage of people. She would do anything just to get her way and screw people over, really bad reputation. And let's say Helen one day does something nice for you. What happens? You immediately become suspicious, right? You become suspicious of her behavior. Why did she do that? What does she want, right? What does she want? What does she want? Because our belief about her being that way is not congruent with her momentary behavior, right? So your beliefs about yourself and the beliefs you have about other people have an impact on how you experience yourself and your relationships. Okay? So our identity being tremendously important, not only for us, who we are and how we experience the world, and what action and risks we are ready to take, and how we tackle challenges and how we look at the world, but equally in our relationships, right? So just bear that in mind. And also the identity, our beliefs, our comfort zone, so to speak, shape our choices, shapes our decisions, shapes what we are willing to do, who we are willing to talk to, how we are willing to behave, the sort of risks we are willing to take. So our identity shapes it all. It's in the middle of the story, right in the middle. Who do you believe you are? Your identity shapes so much. So take stock, do this exercise again of who am I? And if you recognize for yourself that I'm actually answering these questions and I'm not feeling so great, I recognize that all my answers are disempowering, or most of the answers are disempowering. And if this is who I believe about myself to be true, if that's my identity, and I know it's going to shape everything in my life, and that's the reason why I'm not getting the results that I want, and I'm not going to get any results regardless of how much effort, action I take, regardless of how many courses I attend, then identity is the way to change. So why is this so important, and why Why do you have to change it, and why is it so powerful? Let me give you an example of how you can change it, but also how you can change it in the right way really fast. If you recognize some of your belief structures are not helping you around your identity you perceive for yourself and other people, there is a way to change it. Let me give you an example. There was a study done by University of California, Irvine, and they've taken a monkey. I mean, I'm not a fan of studies with animals, but that's what they did. They took a monkey, and they took his hand and put down his 4 fingers, so that its index finger was sticking out only, and they made the monkey to bend index finger 10,000 times. They made him bend the index finger 10,000 times, right? And guess what happens when after the 10,000 times, when they released the other 4 fingers, the monkey kept doing that, right? The monkey kept doing that. So the monkey was conditioned to bend the index finger. So what happened? So every time they bend the finger, whilst the other 4 fingers were down, every time they bend the finger, what happens that the neurons in his brain, and this is how the conditioning in all of us works, the neurons in his brain form attached to the brain. So neurons being the nerve cells of the brain, they attached and formed a string, a really fine string, a neurological pathway, so to speak. And every time they bend it, so if they bend it again, you get 2 strings. So after 10,000 times, 10,000 really fine strings, there was a pattern in the brain that made the monkey do this, bend his finger 10,000 times, right? Just by the neurons forming pathways. But the interesting thing is that they have taken another monkey and they've done the same thing. They put down his 4 fingers, but rather than bending his finger 10,000 times, they have taken a really fine needle and stimulated the pleasure center of the monkey's brain every time the monkey banged his finger. The monkey, all he had to do is bend his finger 3 dozen of times. But whilst they were stimulating the pleasure centers, the monkey was really experiencing extreme pleasure whilst he was bending the finger, right? 10 dozen of times, and the result was the same. They released the monkey's hand, fingers, and he kept bending his fingers. So the result, 10,000 repetitions, as opposed to 3 dozen of repetitions with extreme pleasure, was the same. And that is why we are mentioning this to you. That is the power of how do you form any kind of belief through repetition, through you thinking about a certain thing over and over again, developing a habit, a ritual, whether it's serving you or not, over and over again. And at some point, you keep building, whether you know it or not, these pathways in your brain that determine your conditioning, that determine your behavior, your habits every day. Whether they're serving you or not, that's not a question. But you can quite literally rewire yourself and get much faster results by attaching a lot of intense pleasure to a behavior that you want instead, or to the thoughts that you want to be thinking unconsciously, consciously about yourself instead. So if you want a new identity, about yourself, and you recognize the old identity is not serving me because it's impacting me in so many different ways, and I now understand with my logical mind why I'm not getting the results that I'm after. If you recognize this all for yourself, now is the time to build new habits, new beliefs, to condition yourself from scratch, from new, so to speak, right? By defining messages, by doing things, taking action that is empowering and attaching tremendous amounts of pleasure to it with an incredible amount of intensity. I'm not talking about, in the study I mentioned, they've taken a really fine needle, stimulated the monkey's pleasure center of the brain. I'm not suggesting anything remotely drastic like that, right? I certainly don't want to physically stimulate your brain, but you can affect your brain essentially in the same way You can impact your brain in the same way by you vividly imagining things that stimulate pleasure in you, because your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and vivid imagination, right? So extreme pleasure, whatever gives you extreme pleasure, if you do it and attach it to thinking, empowering messaging, doing the right things, that is how you can recondition yourself. And it will happen for you much quicker and faster than if you do it only through repetition and not really engaging any emotion to it. So I hope this helped, because the topic of how do I get ultimate results, really good results, how can I really leverage on all the effort I'm taking by getting the right results? That's a big, huge topic for everybody, right? So many people are running around like crazy. So it's almost like they are, throwing a lot of mud on the wall, just hoping something will stick to get the results. But that is not a sustainable way of living. We all know that. Right? It's always our story that's in the way, the why, our why, and our story starts with who we believe we are. Because we always do who we believe we are. We always do that. That's our identity. Remember the example I gave you with the thermostat, and think about it again. How does it apply in your own life? So I hope you find this helpful and useful. And if you feel that this has given you some insight, apply it in your life. Let me know how you get on. I would love to hear from you. If you want to have a similar conversation or go a little bit deeper in the longer workshop group coaching sessions, in the Mindset Reset Time workshops that we run every Tuesday between 2 and 4 p.m. and every Friday between 10 and 12 p.m., sign up for a free day pass. Come along. You can get a free day pass on themindsetmedium.com, the link to which you find in the description. But for now, thank you, everybody. Live strong, live with passion, and with the sense that you are on the right track on becoming who you really want to be. And that's what identity is all about. Thanks for joining in. Have a great day. Bye for now.